Jason Reed was a typical 23-year-old living in the quiet suburbs of Ohio. Life hadn't turned out how he expected. College wasn't for him. He dropped out after just 1 year, burdened by anxiety and the feeling that no matter how hard he tried, he simply didn't fit in. For the past 2 years, he had been working night shifts at a local gas station, barely making enough to pay rent. His days were consumed by endless scrolling through social media, eating junk food, and watching life pass him by. His dreams had become blurry. His sense of purpose had faded. He wasn't depressed in the clinical sense, but he felt deeply lost, like a puzzle missing too many pieces. There were no passions, no big goals, just a constant echo of self-doubt. One cold January evening, while lying on his second-hand couch with an open bag of chips resting on his chest, Jason came across a Reddit post that stopped him mid-scroll. The post was short, almost daring. Want to change your life? Read 1 book a day for a year. He scoffed. Who the hell has time for that? He muttered. But something about the challenge wouldn't let go of him. That night, as he lay in bed staring at the ceiling, the idea bounced around in his head like a rubber ball. What if it's not about time, but about commitment? He thought. Maybe his brain didn't need another app or video game. Maybe it needed food. Mental food. The next morning, Jason wrote it down in a dusty old notebook. Goal: 365 books, 365 days. No excuses. The first week was rough. He started with short books to ease into the process. The 4 Agreements, Who Moved My Cheese and the Dip, by Seth Godin. By day 4, he already wanted to quit. His eyes hurt, his attention span was terrible, and he found himself rereading the same page 5 times before it made sense. But something unusual began to happen. Instead of giving up, he got curious. Not about the books themselves, but about himself. Why was it so hard to focus? Why was reading exhausting when people said it was relaxing? So he picked up a book called Deep Work by Newport, and it cracked something open. It wasn't just about reading books, it was about retraining his scattered brain. By the end of January, Jason had read 31 books. He didn't remember every detail, but he felt different. A little sharper. He started noticing things, how people spoke, how habits formed, how time could be wasted so easily without us noticing. He stopped binge-watching TV shows. He reduced his phone usage by over 60%. He started using sticky notes to write down quotes that moved him. One quote stuck with him for weeks. The chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. It was from Warren Buffett. Jason realized his life had become a series of heavy chains made from small, forgotten choices, and now, he was finally breaking them. By March, Jason wasn't the same guy. He had stopped eating junk and replaced late-night snacking with green tea and trail mix. He read Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari and was blown away by how little he knew about human history. Mindset by Carol Dweck helped him understand that intelligence isn't fixed, it's grown. He read The Power of Now and began to sit silently for 10 minutes each morning. Meditation had once sounded weird to him. Hippie stuff, he used to call it. Now it was a necessity. His thoughts were less noisy. He wasn't constantly judging himself anymore. He was watching himself, guiding himself, learning to let go of fear. By the halfway point in July, he had read 183 books. People around him noticed. He didn't brag about the challenge. He barely told anyone. But his tone changed. He held eye contact better. His vocabulary widened. He could explain ideas with confidence. His co-workers at the gas station joked that he sounded like a professor now. He took that as a compliment. He'd started reading books about money, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Millionaire Fast Lane, The Psychology of Money. He applied what he learned and started freelancing as a copywriter, using skills he'd picked up from books like Influence by Robert Cialdini. In a few weeks, he made his first $500 online. It wasn't much, but it was proof that knowledge, when applied, had power. August brought his first viral moment. Jason decided to record a short TikTok video titled 5 Books That Changed My Life So Far. He recorded it with shaky hands in his bedroom, surrounded by piles of books. It felt silly, but he posted it anyway. The video blew up, 200,000 views in 48 hours. People flooded his comments with questions. How do you find time to read? Do you actually remember what you read? Can you recommend a book for heartbreak, anxiety, confidence? Jason was overwhelmed, but also inspired. He started answering comments. He turned his reading habit into short, digestible videos every day. His following began to grow. By October, he had crossed 300 books. He read one about neuroplasticity called The Brain That Changes Itself, and it gave him a rush of validation. Scientists had proven that the brain can be rewired by repeated habits. He wasn't imagining the changes, he was living proof. His ability to focus had skyrocketed. His memory was sharper. His empathy had grown. Books on philosophy, like Meditations by Marcus Aurelius and Letters from a Stoic by Seneca, made him calmer. Books on trauma and healing made him kinder to his past self. He was healing, not just mentally, but spiritually. December arrived like a miracle. He had read over 340 books. He was now earning $2,000 a month online, had helped 3 of his online followers start their own reading journeys, and had a following of nearly 500,000 across platforms. People began asking him to do workshops. Schools reached out to invite him to speak. One teacher messaged saying, "One of my students stopped self-harming after watching your videos. Thank you." Jason cried when he read that. For the first time in his life, he felt like he mattered. On December 31st, Jason sat quietly on his couch, just as he had nearly a year ago. But this time, the couch didn't feel like a prison, it felt like a throne. In his hand was his 365th book, Man's Search for Meaning, by Viktor E. Frankl. He didn't rush through it. He savored every word. When he reached the final sentence, he closed the book, placed it gently on the stack beside him, and took a deep breath. He had done it. 365 books, 365 days, one completely rewired brain. He turned on his phone and recorded a video, his voice trembling. "I read 365 books in 365 days. This is what it did to my brain." The video would reach 3 million views within a week. Today, Jason runs an online platform called Read to Rewire. He creates free reading plans, teaches youth how to learn through books, and helps people escape the cycle of mental fog through intentional reading. He doesn't promise money or instant success. He simply promises what he experienced: clarity, curiosity, courage. Jason is not a genius. He's not an influencer pretending to have all the answers. He's a regular guy who made one radical decision to change the way he fed his mind. That decision changed everything. Books didn't just teach him facts, they taught him how to think, how to feel, how to forgive, and how to hope. In the end, Jason didn't become someone else. He became the version of himself he was always meant to be. And it all started with a single page.